Compression garments are one of the best ways to manage swelling in the legs, but yes, they can be really difficult to get on and off. My name is Kelly and I'm a physical therapist specializing in oncology rehab and lymphedema. And in this video, I'm going to show the proper way to get a stocking on and off, as well as the tools that can help as well. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe down below for weekly new videos. You can join us on Instagram for more related content, and you can check out our website for more resources. So I will say it right away, one thing you don't want to do is try to pull a stocking on from the top alone like you would a normal sock. Nor do you want to try to scrunch it up and then try to pull it on. It's just going to get too tight, and honestly neither are going to work very well. You want to try instead to reach in, pinch that heel, and pull it partly inside out to the heel. And then I try to just make sure that I smooth it out. And then from there, we can slide our foot in. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that visually, but that's the concept we want to do because we want to minimize how much fabric we have bulked up, because all it's going to do is make the fabric tighter. We want to have as little fabric as possible lined up so that we have a little more give to make it easier to get on and off. So showing, for example, to get a compression garment on, this is just a below the knee with the same process for an above the knee. Put my hand in and reach to pinch right at the heel mark, and then flip that first part inside out just to the heel. And we want as minimal layering as possible. From there, what we'll do is slide on the first foot part up until we get to that heel. And then I'll come back with the second part, and maybe there's a third if you're doing it above the knee or a thigh-high garment, and pulling on the rest of the way. After you have that on, you want to make sure you go back and make sure the toes are comfortable, the heel's in the correct spot, and make sure you get out any creases and that the fabric is smooth and in line where it needs to be. Make adjustments as needed. You can also grab rubber gloves, dishwashing gloves, gardening gloves, something that has a grip to it. These are branded 𝐏𝐫𝐨𝐝 gloves, but either works, but they have enough that they can really get excess fabric to get out and smooth out any of those creases and make sure everything's in line so that you're off and ready to go. To get off a compression stocking, instead of just pushing it all down and bunching it at the heel, which is really hard to get over, try instead flipping it inside out without that excess fabric and then pulling off from there. You can use the gloves as needed, but if you need to, you can come back and push over the heel. That is the hardest part. And then pulling from there is going to be the best way to do that if you don't have any tools. Now, if you're watching and thinking that I am crazy and that there is no way that this is going to work for you, then we want to check out donning aids. I'm going to link a couple of my favorites down below, but let's show a few popular options in action. So one style of donning aids are ones like this. There are plastic ones, metal ones. There are ones without handles, ones with really long handles, which are nice if someone can't reach down to touch the foot or to get that area. But the concept is all the same in how they work. So with this, we take the stocking and we fold it over and then really work. This is probably the hardest part. Put it on a table or on your lap and slide the stocking down into place as far as you can go. You might not be able to get all the way, but if you can get really close to the toes, it just makes it a little bit easier. Again, if someone has handles, they'll be able to put it on the floor. In this case, you can see I'm just going to keep handles off and show that the foot will slide in. And from there, if you put it on the ground, you can step into it. I'll just slide into this one. And then you would grab the handles and make sure you can pull up the rest of the way. Pull the aid off, and then you'd still have to go back and make sure that everything is in alignment, that you don't have any creases, and then that it's all smoothed out without any areas that might cause any tourniquet. So that's a nice simple one that has long handles to put on the ground so someone doesn't have to bend over, reach over to get on their stocking. Another type of donning aid that also can help get the garments off are ones like the 𝐿𝐿𝐴 Slippy Gaiter. So it comes with it's not sticky, but it's a grippy pad that you'd put on the floor, and then also this chute-like contraption, okay? So what we would do is we take the end of this slippy gaiter, and you can put it in the garment or in the stocking, and just start it in there. You don't have to push it very far. And then from there, you'd put this on the ground. I'll keep it up here to make it easy to see. And you would still just slide your foot in as you would. But this fabric is slippery, so it's easier to slide your foot in. From there, you can pull as far as you can, because this garment might help a lot. But if you can't, you put this on the floor and use it to slide your heel in, that you can get your foot in as far as you can. They say to only go to about your heel, which I'm actually past, or it will throw off everything. But if you go all the way, you might have to pull it back down, but you try to get as far as possible, and then you can come back and grab the handles and help pull up this the rest of the way to get on the rest of your garment. So when I probably pulled too far, you can use the pad to hold everything in place as you pull the rest of it out. Until you get it all the way up, and then we can come back down, slide that off, and then you always still want to go back and check your toes, your creases, and smooth everything out. So that's a helpful way to get it on. You can also use this tool to get it off. So what we do, it has this tighten side that goes over the foot or the heel. Then we take the top part and roll it down and try to get it over the slippy gaiter chute as much as possible. If you can get it over the heel, great, that makes it easier. And then using both on the pad, slide that off, pushing it all down until you can get it off. It's easier when it's on the floor, but it gives you enough to get it off the heel, which then is a lot easier to pull it off from there. So this is one of the other options. And some people will just use the padding to help, but it is another great donning aid to help getting on the garment, but also getting the garment off. And then the last one I'm gonna show in this video is this one, called just the green chute. There's a lot of different versions of this. It's just very loud, so I'm gonna try not to talk as much while I'm doing it because it's gonna be hard to hear. But this one can go for an open or closed-toed garment, which is nice. And it's also meant to help getting the garment on, but also help getting the garment off. So what we can do, it's the same concept that we would slide our foot in first. That's what I mean by it's loud. And this is an open-toed garment that we would slide this over the top. And then you would just pull on like a typical garment, but it's so slippery that it's easier to pull it on over your skin. So we still want to get it as, as where we need to be with the foot and the heel. And then this is a thigh high, so you could pull as far as you need to. And then before I have it set completely at the top, what you can do is that has the other end. And from there you can pull out. It is easier to have someone else pull from the other end. And if you're strong enough, you can pull straight up yourself. I have found that if it's really difficult to pull yourself, to pull that out, to have the other foot on the floor, step on it, and then be able to lift up your other leg off, and then that pulls out that way. So that's just a little trick, but it's a nice way to, again, just have final touches to get on the garment, and then I would fix it from there. To get it off, it actually comes with another piece similar to how the Juzo one works, that it comes on there. We fold this over the top of it, and then we would use our heel to slide it off as well. So it's a very similar concept as the pad one and the slippy gaiter, but it's another option just to have some extra slickness to it so it doesn't get stuck on itself and we kind of get to slide off of itself so you're not just pushing it off. So another option to help with garments getting on and off, and I will link all of these options in the description box down below that someone can check out, but I hope that is helpful to see. And those are the best ways to get a compression stocking on and off. But if you want to learn more, you can learn in-depth treatment about the best ways to treat leg lymphedema in my lower body lymphedema rehab program. This program goes highly in depth on the best ways to treat and reduce lower body and leg lymphedema, and includes visual demonstrations of each component of treatment, including bonus options and detailed videos with easy to follow handouts and other resources, all organized and combined into one program. It's everything that I use to treat my patients in the clinic, but packaged for someone to move through at their own pace. You can learn more about these programs on my website, which I will link in the description box down below as well as up above. Other than that, I hope you all found this video helpful, and we'll see you all in the next video. Thanks, everyone.